Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Z. I'm just using your first letter of your name for privacy purposes, and you completed a free TOEFL speaking practice test evaluation. That's perfect. So I've already downloaded your response, so let's listen to it. And the first time I'll make no comments. The second time I will make some comments and give you a score. So I'm listening to it for the very first time right now.
What is better when preparing for an exam, studying alone or studying with a group? I think studying alone for an exam is way better than studying with a group for some reasons. First of all, I can make my own schedule. So many students don't want to get together after midnight, but it's the best time for me to understand what I read. And secondly, I like to study at home. I don't want to go outside, especially in winter. So whenever I feel tired, I can just take a short nap and continue studying after that. And also, since nobody is around, there will be no distractions, so I can just focus on my exam. That's why I chose to study alone for my exams.
Okay, so I think overall, my impressions, you're right around 3.0 out of 4 approximately. I might go a little lower. Let me listen to it one more time.
I think studying alone for an exam is way better than studying with a group for some reasons. First of all,
now be careful for some reasons. If you say some reasons, it's very general. It doesn't really focus your response, and a lot of students begin their speaking task with exactly the same template. So maybe you might have learned this at TOEFL or somewhere else. But it's important to try to be original in how you begin these kinds of practice tests. So your introduction, not the best. What if you said this? What if you said, well, because I can score higher on the exams and I can prepare for my homework assignments more efficiently, I prefer to study alone rather than study in a group. So if you say it like that, you've stated two specific points around which you can organize the remainder of your response.
I can make my own schedule. So many students don't want to get together after midnight, but it's the best time for me to understand what I read.
So you said so. I would say even though, not so. I would say even though a lot of students don't like to study after midnight, it is the best time for me. So before the word even though, I would end your sentence and then start off with even though and go from there. So I think you had the wrong connector there. So when you're using even though, you're talking about what's called unexpected type result.
And secondly, I like to study at home. I don't want to go outside, especially in winter. So whenever
Yeah, but studying at home, how does that relate to studying alone or studying in a group? You can study in a group at home, right? What if you said, well, I also like studying alone because I can choose my location, or I can choose where I want to study or something?
I feel tired, I can just take a short nap and continue studying after that. And also, since nobody is around, there will be no distractions, so I can just focus on my exam. That's why I chose to study alone for my exams.
Okay, so my recommendation for you is there's really one idea. You like studying alone because it's more convenient. That's one key point. The other one is you believe you have fewer distractions if you study alone, right? So those are your 2 points. You didn't really have any specific examples in there to support what you were saying. Now, I'm assuming that you've been in high school, you've probably been in college, so try to give an example. Say, for example, when I was preparing for my Biology 101 exam, I studied without anybody else. Why? Because there were no distractions. Nobody was talking to me, asking me about what I did last week. Nobody was trying to show me some new app they had on their phone. I was able to concentrate on my studies without being distracted by other people. So I recommend that you get a little more specific in the examples you're giving. I think that's important. Okay, so let's take a look at the rubrics now. I'm going to put you a little bit below 3. I'm going to put you at 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this. So I think in terms of your delivery, there's 3 areas I want to comment on, and the first one's delivery. I'd like to see you make some improvements with your pronunciation, and specifically with your intonation. You need to work on varying your tone more than what you're doing. Language use, overall, you had one specific problem. You remember the word so versus even though? I recommended even though, I thought was a better word there, but that was kind of a minor issue that you can probably do. But overall, your language use was actually pretty good, so no major problems with that other than that one thing. Topic development, you tried to talk about 3 reasons. I recommend maybe 1 or 2 reasons. For example, for you could probably focus on convenience and fewer distractions as your 2 key points, and then you need to give more examples to illustrate those ideas. All right, so thank you very much for completing this practice test. Now, the next thing is, I just want to tell you briefly, I don't want to spend a lot of time boring you here, but I do have a really good online course to help you with your TOEFL speaking. This is called my TOEFL Speaking Bootcamp course. I'm actually accepting students, enrolling students right now for August. So if you want to complete some pronunciation and some speaking practice, you want to get a lot more feedback from me over the month of August, consider joining my TOEFL Speaking Bootcamp course. Now, I'll give you a tip. I have a coupon right now. So if you purchase this course at my website, when you go to checkout, enter in the coupon code TOEFL Speaking 26, and you'll get a $31 discount on that specific course. All right? Thank you.